Drop one of my headphones in my coffee. It's crazy. Crazy work. What's up, y'all? I know. Isn't that crazy, Tori? Nah, guys, the new mic was supposed to come in yesterday, and UPS pump faked me, man. So it'll be here today. So it'll be live and ready to go for Monday. So we'll be good.
Hey mate, how are you doing?
What's up?
And now what we got to talk about today then?
It's up to you, bro.
Have you just started your live? Am I too early or something?
No. I mean, you can pick. What do you want to talk about? You're a Muslim, right?
Well, there you go, Jesus. Yeah. I talked to you yesterday, I think, or the day before.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Tori. I'll borrow yours, and then I'll. No. But anyways, go ahead, bro.
I mean, it's up to you.
And like I said, yeah.
Huh? What do you got, bro? Do you have an argument?
Is it just me?
Do you have an argument today or no?
I thought you would. Okay. If Jesus is I don't know. Can I just use yesterday's argument?
What was yesterday's argument again?
I mean, I would just say if Jesus, if Jesus is God, where does it say that he's God? Where does he say himself that he is God? And he created like the world and stuff like that.
Well, according to Muslims and Christians, who's the first and the last?
Is it me or your volume's just a bit low? Can you ask your friends?
Guys, do you hear me okay or what?
I can. Yeah, it's better now, mate. Yeah. Sorry, once more, what did you say?
According to Muslims and Christians, who's the first and the last?
The first and the last. What do you mean? Like, what does that mean, though? Like, in a short.
Okay, I'll just show it to you in your Quran.
You mean the first human, the first what?
Since you don't know what it means, I gotta show you what it means.
You understand what I mean?
Since you don't know what it means, I gotta
understand what I mean, man.
Yeah, I do understand what you mean, but you need to first understand your own book.
I will.
Farmers.
Can you not be so like combative or defensive?
Farmers.
When there's logic.
Farmers.
If there's a bit of logic, please be
Farmers.
Fair. Is that fair?
Yes, bro. That's fine.
Yes.
If you don't know what it means, I need to show you. So, do you have a Quran with you?
No.
Okay. Can you get one?
No. I mean, you could just go ahead. I think I know what you're going to say anyway. Some verses from the Quran, I think I know. So go ahead.
What do you think? Tell me what you think I'm going to say.
No, that's stupid now. Come on, this is stupid now. You're telling me what I think you're going to say.
Farmers, you just said you know what I'm going to say. Go ahead and why don't you tell me what you think I'm going to say?
It doesn't matter. I don't want to.
All right, farmers, have a good day, bro. Have a good day. This is a waste of time.
Oh my days.
It's a waste of time, bro. What's the point, bro? What's the point? You don't want to cooperate. You don't know things about your own book. Like, bro, what's the point? I'm not going to teach you about your own book. What's up?
Yo, Bear.
What's up?
Yeah, so you got a little thing there. Christianity is logical, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to give me like a brief rundown of that?
I mean, it's just logical all the way around. If you think it's not, you can present your argument.
So, do you think that the fallen state, original sin, you think that's logical?
Yes.
So, God is our creator. He's all-knowing, all-powerful, and he creates something, and then he's mad at his creation for what it is. Isn't that illogical?
Sorry, repeat that again.
So God is the creator. He's all-knowing, he's all-powerful, and then he creates something, and then he's then mad at that creation for what it is.
Yeah, he's not mad at that creation. I don't know where you got that from.
So you guys believe that we're in a fallen state, right? We're unholy, we can't be in the presence of God.
Right.
But that is because that's the way God made us. It's not our fault.
God didn't make us in a fallen state.
Well, I don't believe in the fallen state. It doesn't make sense.
Well, okay. Well, I thought we were talking about Christianity.
No, that's what I'm saying to you. It's illogical.
Brother, you started off with, you're going to show me why Christianity is illogical. And then I said, according to our belief, I didn't say this, but it's obvious because we're talking about Christianity. According to our belief, we don't believe he made us in a fallen state. And then you said, I don't believe in the fallen state. Bro, is this an internal critique, or are you going to just tell me what Islam believes?
No, I'm telling you what Christianity claims about the disposition of man.
I understand that, but what I'm asking is, what I'm saying is, you're doing an internal critique on Christianity. Like I don't understand. Like, what's illogical? Just present what your argument is that's illogical.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's illogical. If you have an all-powerful God, all-knowing, that creates man, right, and gives that man the ability to desire and to sin, and then when that creation does that, then deems it unholy and not worthy to be in his presence.
Once again, we don't believe that God created us with a desire to sin. He just created us with a free will.
But Adam had desires, right?
Yes, he has a free will. God didn't put something within him instinctually for him to want to sin. No.
So God told Adam, do not eat from the tree. But he also knew that he gave Adam the desires to want to eat from the tree.
No, he didn't. Like I said, that's free will.
Yeah, which God gave him.
Okay. Doesn't your God give free will?
Yeah.
Okay. So what exactly are you arguing?
Yeah, because Islamically, we believe God created evil. He created sin. You guys don't believe that.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That would mean that your God is responsible for evil.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, of course he is. He's the creator. He's the originator of everything.
Okay, bro. I mean, that's wild.
Isn't that more logical though? Like if
no,
if
it's
he's
not.
The creator?
Because then how can he be an all good God if he creates evil? Do you believe your God is all good?
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah.
So how can it be all good if he creates evil?
Because that's what he wants it to be.
Okay, I understand that. That's not my question. How can he be all good if he created evil?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a bit baffled with that. Because why are you saying that it would make him not all good if he created that?
Because that would mean he is responsible, like he willed evil.
Right. I mean, look.
Do you believe Allah can will evil?
Yeah, I mean, what I want to say is that maybe evil is not the best word. So he created you with the ability to sin.
No, he didn't. Maybe. Are you talking about your belief or mine?
This is what I'm saying, but I'm talking about reality. This is what we see. This
Brother,
is what human beings.
We have two different worldviews. So we bounced around back and forth. So, and I'm okay with that. I just need to know, what worldview are you talking about right now? That he created us with the ability to sin.
When you're discussing logic, let's get to that first. We should have started with that and what we're actually understanding. Logic, right, would be that, wouldn't it be that our beliefs would match up what we observe as human beings on this planet to be logic? What is logical?
Like what we observe is what?
Yeah, so the things that we would both call sins in both of our religions, we see that human beings do this. Okay. So that's an observation. We see that human beings are sinners. They succumb to their desires that are even outside of religion, even what man in general would deem to be immoral, would deem to be crimes, right? But then if I believe in an all-powerful creator that created me, I would just believe that this is his creation. What I see is the way that it's supposed to be. But you guys say no, it's because this particular thing happened.
Okay.
God didn't want it to be this way.
So
It's
what?
actually our fault.
Okay, bro. So what's illogical about our view?
Within what we see, like we have to believe in this thing that we never observed, that we can't observe. But even when you go to that thing, it still doesn't really make sense, because God is we both agree that God is all powerful and he is the creator. So what we are would be exactly what he would want us to be.
Yeah, bro. But see, here's the thing. You're trying to impose like, well, I'm looking at everything around me. Sin is around, therefore, this is what Allah created. He created good and evil, right? But that wouldn't. But that would be contradictory to your position, because do you believe that Allah desires evil?
Yeah. I mean, Muslims believe that he tests us.
So
He makes
so
bad
he
things happen
desires evil.
Yeah, I mean, we believe that Allah tests us by sometimes making bad things happen.
Bro, I'm not. That's not what I asked. I asked, does he desire evil?
Yeah. Whatever he wants is what happens.
Okay. Bro, I'm baffled. Like that means that your God is not all good then.
Yeah, but again, what you've got logic up here though, there is what I'm asking you.
That's not logical. Like you're talking, you believe in a contradiction. You're saying that your God's all good but desires evil.
Like to give you an example, right? Because I've heard this said before, but this is a bit of a uncomfortable example, but we'll just go ahead with it, right? If a lady is pregnant and she miscarries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that God caused that to happen to her?
No.
Or do you believe that's the devil?
No, it doesn't even need to be the devil. It's just our fallen nature. Our fallen nature is imperfect because we have fallen.
So this thing is running without God's power. This is something that has been set in motion.
I didn't say that either. Obviously, the reason why we're still alive is because God's sustaining everything. However, the corruption of our nature that can cause sickness and diseases and miscarries, all of those things are in result of the fall, not in the result of God.
Exactly, yeah, but whereas in Islam, we believe that it is Allah who causes you to fall
I know
sick.
you said that, but that would be once again illogical. You can't say you guys have free will and then say that Allah wills all these things. You can't say that Allah is all good, but then desires evil.
Yeah, so this is what I've tried to get to with Christians, right? So you gave an example of sickness, that this is a result of the fallen state. So disease, by way of science, we know what disease is now. This bacteria that is out there, possibly airborne, is it just doing its thing respectfully without God's dominion over it? It's just acting on its own.
No, I mean, once again, like when we're talking about the fallen nature, we're talking about creation as a whole has fallen as well. But yeah, the reason why
on disease, because you did say disease, right?
Yeah, so what? So what that there's a bacteria out there? The fact that it can affect us and put us in a state that we can deteriorate is because of our fallen nature. So what?
So it's got nothing to do. Like if I get cancer, I believe Allah gave me that cancer, but you would say no, that's not. Jesus didn't do that to you. That's the fallen state.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like you're if you have free will, there's consequences for your choices, right? So you can't say that every choice or anything like that is due to like, I mean, if I go and I commit a crime and I get caught, that's because of, that was my choice, right? If I have free will, that consequence that I face is because of that choice. Same thing with the fallen nature, right? The fallen nature, it's not my fault I have a fallen nature. That's what happened in the beginning, but I'm suffering the consequence of it. So is everybody else, meaning that I am susceptible for death if I'm not careful, right? If I'm going to smoke cigarettes until whatever, and then I get cancer because of that, then that's my choice, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, that is your choice. Like, we believe that Allah created Adam intelligent, so we know what is right from wrong, and we're the ones who make the decisions to do.
Yeah, you're contradicting what you just said earlier. You said Allah wills everything.
Yeah, no, but then even within that, we also believe that Allah also inflicts us with things deliberately. Like, even if you're out here doing your best, like, everything's great, bang, you get a call. Yeah. Your wife's taken in a car crash. We believe Allah did that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't think that's the majority belief of Muslims, but
Yeah,
regardless,
where every Muslim literally says that. Like when bad things
okay,
happen, we say
no
we say
worries.
qadar Allah. That's the decree
No
of
worry.
God.
That's fine, bro. That's fine. If it is, that's even worse. So if that is the case, then bro, I don't know how you even make a case that your God's even good.
I guess I'll have to get deeper in that to you when you have time about the all good thing, because I don't really understand it. But maybe
Well,
on
is it?
another
Do you
time
believe
you can
Allah is
explain it to me.
perfect?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Is he unchanging?
Yes.
Is he good? Is he all good?
He's the most good.
Okay, so wouldn't an all good being
Oh, yes,
only?
he's not all good. Yeah, sorry, he's not all good. He's the most good. He's not all good. He's not all of one thing.
I'm just saying, is he like the most, like the highest low? I guess to dumb it down in layman's
I would agree
terms.
with that.
Okay, good. So does he have any evil within him?
Yeah. No.
Okay, but you're saying that he desires evil.
No, I said, well, yeah, this is what I said to you before about maybe evil is not the best word. So what you see as evil is not evil to God. Like if God took your son or your wife, you might say this is evil, but to God it's like,
Is
no,
sin evil?
I wanted to do that. What's the problem?
Is sin evil?
No, I wouldn't call sin. Sin is to transgress a bound that has been set by God. I don't think that's evil.
Oh,
It's
so
disobedience.
when someone transgresses against God, that's not evil?
No, it's a form of disobedience. Like you're being an adversary to God. You're adverse to His decree.
Dude, I have no idea. Like,
that's what we call Satan, right? Satan is an adversary to God.
bro, but you understand that sin is like you're saying. I wouldn't call sin evil, but sin is a transgression against God.
Against His laws and decrees. Yes, that's right. You transgress God's law.
Okay, so if I go unalive somebody, that's against His law. Is that evil?
For the most part, yeah. If you take a
For
life,
the most part, it's evil.
Yeah, I mean, if God says do not unalive people, and if you do that, then but obviously we know there are exceptions.
But
like
you said sin. That's a sin, right?
In war and self-defense, no.
I'm just talking about premeditated. I'm going to do it just because I don't like a person.
Yeah, that's wrong, bro. Yeah, you've sinned.
Okay,
yeah,
that's a sin. You're saying you said earlier sin is not evil.
No, I said again. God told you do not unalive, and you've done that, so you've transgressed a boundary that.
Good. Is that evil? I understand that, bro. We already established that. Is that evil?
No, that's not evil. That's an act of disobedience. You've
oh
broken
my.
a law.
Okay, bro. All right, man. Take it easy, bro. I don't know where to go from that conversation. Like, you don't even know like basic like definitions of like what's evil. And I'm like, holy crap. So sin is not evil. We learned something new about Islam today. Allah wills evil. He creates sin, and well, evil wasn't the right word. He said, "Let me not straw man him." Sin is not all the way evil. It's just a transgression against God's law, and that's it. Okay, that's not evil. I go on to live somebody just because I don't like them, not justified, right? I wasn't no self-defense, nothing. That's not evil. I just broke a law. That's all. I'm learning something new about Islam every day. Every day. That's crazy work. I guess that's why, like, I don't know why atheists don't debate Muslims more, because atheists love the problem of evil. And I'll be honest with you, the problem of evil is probably like, well, I don't know if it's the toughest. I guess if you don't know what you're talking about, it could be tough. But it's definitely the atheist's like favorite argument. I think because I think most atheists become atheists because of the problem of evil. But like, damn, why don't they bring this to Muslims? Muslims will just concede all day. Oh yeah, he created evil, no problem. I guess maybe that's why it's just not fun. I guess I don't know, but it's crazy, unbelievable. Oh man, all right. Well, we had some people requesting. I don't know where they went. You guys can tap the screen for me. We're not even at 5K. Crazy work. Man. Anas was debating an atheist. Actually, I would probably enjoy watching that. I wish I could have seen. I don't really see atheists challenge Muslims very often. So if there was any Muslim I would like to see go at an atheist, it would probably be Anas. That would actually be entertaining. That would actually be entertaining. But I don't see it very often, so I don't know. Atheists love coming at Christians. Oh, you're gonna send it? All right, cool. Yeah, send it to me on Discord or something. You have the whole convo, Tori? Yeah, well, I mean, let me guess why they kicked him. I'm sure he wasn't being very respectful, right? I'm sure the name calling started happening. It was very short. Oh, well, that's not fun. I mean, I'm talking about like an actual, like, long conversation with an atheist. That would be fun. But send it to me anyway. It might be funny. Agnostics believe, but they turn away from. Anas has been getting fried by the all-loving argument by 5+ Christians. Well, other Christians are running that argument. I'm curious. I am curious. I just sent you the invite, but it didn't bring you up. Hello, my love.
Hey, my love.
Well, yeah, you know what, Nick definitely a long time ago, long time ago, I saw Nick ask the question. He didn't really run the argument. I saw him ask the question. And I know I asked a couple Muslim people after that, but I just wasn't as deep into the philosophy as I am like now. Not that I'm like an expert or anything in philosophy, but I'm much deeper today than I used to be. And I definitely saw the potential of the argument back then. I just didn't know enough to really run it, or at least like articulate it. So whoever was requesting up, request up, man. Come on. The argument's going global. I'm glad. Global argument. I wish more people would run it. What's up?
What's up, bro? I just want to say, yeah, you're 100% right. Jesus is God and not Allah. Keep on doing your good work, brother.
Thank you.
Just want to say God bless.
Thank you, bro. God bless.
Take care. Having a great day, brother.
You too. Have a good day.
Okay, bye.
Follower of Imam Ali. Where you at? Oh. He's probably Shia. Imam Ali. Bro, Allah is just God in Arabic. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. We know, brother. We know. We know, man. If you want to know what I mean by it, you can request up. I'll explain it to you. Because it doesn't mean what you think it means. Not seeming like it? Well, come up and see if it seems like it or not. What's up, YouTube, by the way? Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to everybody. I know people have been putting comments. I didn't even see it. Hold on. Let me see what YouTube's saying. What YouTube yapping about? Yeah, so we learned something today. How to get on stage. Hamza. I'm not taking guests on stage on YouTube just yet, Hamza, if you're still here. Due to technology. I gotta get a couple more things. So if you want to join as a guest, come to TikTok. Bear the image. Allah is one of Shaitan's subcontractors. That's an interesting view. There's no free will in Islam. One evidence, the penalty for leaving is death. Allah predetermined every action by the creation prior to creating it. Islam has no free will. Yeah, I know. And maybe that's like the next argument I bring up. Like, how can Islam even have free will? You know, they'll claim there's free will, but what do you define as free will? Because then afterwards we see that Allah wills everything. You know, and just like the last Muslim that came up, Allah created sin and evil, and He wills it, and oof, you know. You know what's interesting is like when they admit to certain things that are problems for the religion, and they expect me to keep going with the argument. Like I'm gonna try to convince you that this is like crazy. I'll try. Like, how can your God be all good but desires evil? Well, I don't see a problem with it. Okay. Well, if you don't see a problem with that, I don't know what to tell you, man. You know? But we both are in agreement. I do believe that Allah created evil and desires evil, because I don't believe He's actually God. I think it's a demon, probably. So it kind of makes sense. So why am I going to continue arguing? Thank you for confirming what I already suspected. What's up?
Yep.
What's up?
I do believe that you're right. Jesus is God, but I do not agree with Jesus is not the Father. Jesus is the Father. He created us. He created the world. He created the trees. He created everybody that you see today. So I believe that He is our Father.
Yeah, I mean, He's our Father as far as the creator, but does that mean He's the Father of Himself?
I mean, you are right, but I just believe that He is my Father. I don't think He is a Father Himself.
Okay, so if He's not the Father Himself, then He's not the Father, right?
Yeah, but He's my Father.
That's fine, bro. Nobody's taking your daddy away from you, okay? Like, He's your Father. I'm just saying this: Jesus Christ, the Son of God, is not the Father of Himself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Cool. So you believe in the Trinity, right?
What's that?
The idea that, well, I mean, it's a doctrine of Christianity that God is one but three persons.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. How long have you been a Christian, man?
I've been a Christian like since 5th grade, but I've been starting to get like more into it recently.
And how long has that been? Since 5th grade?
Well, I'm in 8th grade now, so.
Oh my gosh. All right, bro. You're a little kid, man. No wonder. Go to church, man. Go to an Orthodox church. Ask your mom to take you to an Orthodox church. She'll love it. And if your mom has questions about the Orthodox church, bring her on here. I'll let her know. But ask your mom to bring you to an Orthodox. Say, hey, Mom, please, tomorrow, can you bring me to an Eastern Orthodox church? Somebody recommended it. I want to check it out. All right? Your mom will go there. She will love it. She will love it. So let us know how it went. Okay? You'll learn about the Trinity. You'll learn about all that. But you little kid, man. You can't have this conversation, man. TikTok rules. TikTok rules. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good?
Shalom.
Shalom. What's your faith?
Yeah, so I'm Jewish.
Okay. Messianic or you just Orthodox Jew?
I'm so Orthodox.
Okay. What's your question?
Well, I mean, you're saying Jesus is the Father.
No.
Jesus is God.
I said He's not the Father, but He is God.
Oh, Jesus is God.
Mm-hmm.
So how can a man be God?
Well, it's not that a man can be God. That's not possible. But God can take on flesh, like it was predicted in your Hebrew Bible.
In the Torah?
The Tanakh.
So He took on flesh and became God, right?
Became God? God doesn't
what
become
you're
God. God has always been God.
So He's always been God.
Yes, bro. That's your belief and our belief as well. That God has always been God. Yes.
Okay. So when Mary was raising Him, He was like you and I when growing up. You know, he wore a diaper.
Yep.
He pooped his pants and
That's
needed
how
help walking.
that's how God created humans, right? With a digestive system, right?
Yeah. So then he became God, right? Right, according to what you're
No,
saying.
bro, this is going to be the third time. You need to open your ears, okay? Maybe you got earwax. No, man didn't become God. He was always God. God just took on flesh. Did you understand that this time?
Okay. Yeah. No, it's not registering in my head. I don't understand how
I think you don't want it to register. I think that's what's going
the
on.
Jews, the way we see it is, we believe in a God. We don't believe
Yeah,
that
your own
God
scriptures,
can take on a flesh.
your own scriptures refute you, bro. In the Tanakh.
The Tanakh refutes us.
Yeah, the Tanakh so talks about the Messiah being Yahweh. That the people would call him Yahweh.
Yeah, but it wasn't Jesus.
Yes, it was.
And how can Jesus be
Who-
born without having a father?
Because he's God. God, you don't think God
No.
can, you don't
I
think
think
God.
he was bastard. I think he was bastard.
Yeah, watch your mouth. All right. First of all, you need to
Well,
watch.
if-
You need
if-
to
if
watch
a
your mouth.
father, if you don't have a dad,
Okay.
you don't know who
Okay.
your dad
Good.
is, what it
Yeah.
means.
Nonetheless, it's not necessary for you to use that word. So watch your mouth. That's number one. So you want to continue the conversation? Watch your mouth. If not, you can just kick rocks. So in your own scriptures, I can show you that the Messiah is supposed to be God in the flesh. Do you want to see it?
Sure.
All right. Do you have a Hebrew Bible in front of you?
I can put one.
Okay, good. Let me know when you're ready. You're muted, by the way, and you're away from the
Okay,
TikTok
I'm
app.
ready. What's worse?
Go to Daniel chapter 7.
Daniel chapter 7?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're muted, by the way, every time you go away from the TikTok app. Just let you know. So if you're talking right now,
One
nobody.
screen.
Go
I
ahead.
only have one screen.
Okay. You don't have a Hebrew Bible with you, bro?
I was looking on my phone. I don't have it in my hand, no.
Can you get one?
I'll come back.
Oh my God, bro. See you later.
So there's a couple of these. Hey, how's it going?
What's up? How you doing?
Pretty good, thank you. Are you a Christian?
Yes.
I'm just I have a few questions. Do the Christians believe in a man God? If you consider Jesus a God,
The God man, yeah.
like a man to be God?
No, like a God who took on flesh.
Okay. I was my thought was, if to define God, wouldn't you agree that to define God, to be God, it'd have to be like the all-knowing, the all-seeing, the most power, an intelligence that's beyond the capacity of what the human mind can comprehend, you could say, and it doesn't in line with him coming. Like, for example, if I was to say, can God lie? We would agree that he can, because it's not in his nature to lie. He's the truth.
But
I
you
guess
don't
could say
believe Allah created evil?
he created. Well, it's a creation of his. The devil is a creation of his. But he doesn't himself lie, because he's the truth.
Oh my
So
God.
it goes outside of what he is. So for him to become a human and be limited wouldn't you consider that's like
Guys, this might.
impossible?
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, I mean, you can keep going after this. Guys, that's probably going to be my new. I'm going to study this. I'm probably going to bring that as a new argument, like the problem of evil. But anyways, all right, go ahead. I mean, keep going.
Yeah. So for God to not be able to lie because it's outside of his nature, because he's the truth, for him to become a human, doesn't it go outside of his nature to be limited and not be able to know everything and have a limited, just to be even limited, have a life and death? It goes outside of the nature of being God. So can you really define that as God? Or would you define it as a creation of his, and him giving him the power to do miracles and giving him the permission to do what he did, and him being a human like any other human?
Yeah,
Because, it kind
no,
of goes out
I
of the
wouldn't.
nature
I
of what
wouldn't.
God
I would say
is.
no to all of that when it comes to Jesus,
But what makes Jesus special? Why is he?
because he's God. God is special, like the creator of the universe. That's who he is.
Why would you say that he's God though? Like, why do you guys say that he's God?
Because we have historical evidence that would allow us to believe that the Bible is true. And then when we look at the Old Testament, the prophecies of the Messiah, which you agree he is, all the prophecies point to the Messiah being God incarnated. Therefore, it logically fits that it was God incarnated that came to save humanity.
Yeah, it's just hard for me to understand that he.
That's
would
because
go
you're
to the
that's because
point
you're a
of
Muslim, bro.
himself
That's because you're a Muslim. You have a different worldview. That's why it's hard for you to believe. But which I understand. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be hard for you to believe
I
because
know
you believe. Hold
if it
on.
makes
Hear
sense to
me
me,
out.
like I'm
Hear me out.
open-minded.
Hear me out. Let me finish. I understand it's hard for you to believe because you have a worldview that you've chosen that you believe, which is Islam. And everything I'm saying goes against Islam. But just because it's hard for you to believe doesn't mean it's not true.
I know, but the truth for you to say that it is truth, you're saying because of like the proof, the facts is because of the historical book. History tells you.
I mean, it's a progression of evidence that you build up to conclude, but it starts with history. Yes, according to history, Jesus did die on that cross. That's number one. According to your book, that's not true. He didn't die on the cross.
Yes, yeah, yeah. For being a pro, yeah, I mean, Muslims, I believe. Like, I'm not fully educated on it to the fullest, but I believe it's God didn't allow him to die and rose him to heaven.
Yeah. Surah An-Nisa, ayah 157. That will tell you right there that he did not die on the cross.
Yeah, I'm just questioning. It doesn't cross my mind how God, it's outside of his nature to become human. Like, he can do anything he wants, but it's just he doesn't need to. I believe because he's the most powerful, and for him to come
once again
show himself.
That's just your world. That's just your belief that he doesn't need to. Right? In our worldview, he did it. Oh, you're not even listening anymore, bro. You're not even listening.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, bro. Finish what you were saying.
I said, like a friend of mine told me that we believe he's, God because he was born a miraculous birth.
Did you hear me say that?
No. I'm just saying a friend of mine told me.
Okay.
But
all right.
he told me that there's lots of facts built up through the whole thing. The whole, if you read the book and. No, I got your point.
Do you though?
Yeah, I wanted to know what.
Do you have my point?
What's that?
Do you though? Do you understand my point or no? What's my point?
I do. It's a build-up. It's a build-up of facts that that comes to the conclusion of you considering him to be God. So it's not just one thing. I understood that.
Okay,
I guess I'd have to research more. But it's just hard to believe that for creation to be God, because he's a creator.
Brother, we're not saying that creation became God. We're saying that God came into creation. Okay? There's a difference.
Yeah, but Does he need to though? Because his
Yes.
formula was prophets.
Yes.
From the beginning, he
That's
said prophets.
brother, you're mixing worldviews. You understand, right? That just because you guys claim to be following an Abrahamic religion, that doesn't mean that we have the same religion. We have a different worldview. Okay. I understand you believe in Abraham, Musa, Isaac, and David,
Yeah,
and
I just don't
I
get
understand.
what the purpose of
I
prophets
understand
was.
that you guys claim you follow a lot of the same people we follow. That doesn't mean we have the same religion. Okay. So I understand you have trouble, according to your worldview, that this is not believable. But that's because it is your worldview. We have a different one. We have reasons as to why he came into creation, and they're logical.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's so many Bibles. That's why it's hard to know which one is.
Like
You
what?
know,
Like how many Bibles are there, bro?
Well, no. Some say he's the son of God. Some say he is God. Some are Trinitarian. And
Yeah, all three of those
you know,
things are synonymous. Like the Trinitarians believe he's the Son of God and he's God. That's all of those. You just said the same thing. All three things that you just named are all the same thing under the same belief. So there's nothing different there.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know. It's not. It doesn't seem logic. That's why.
Okay, why? Why?
He
Why is
thinks
it not
it's-
logical? Go ahead.
Well, because when you say he's the son, then you know when he was the son, who was the father? Where was the father? It's just not logical. How can you be three?
Brother,
and,
you just
you
you
know, and
don't.
then
It's
one at the
because
same time?
it's because yeah. It's because you don't understand what we even believe. You don't even know what you're talking about. Like honestly, I don't even think you know anything about your own belief. I think you're a guy
I
that
know
is a
about my
Muslim,
belief.
never studied your religion in depth, and you're coming over here to ask questions about Christianity. Like that's crazy.
Well, I'm asking about you. We haven't talked about my religion.
No,
right?
I
I'm asking
understand.
about
I
your
understand
religion.
you're asking about me, but it's the problem is you're going to ask questions about someone else's belief, and you don't even know anything about your own.
No, well, what makes you think I don't know anything about my own?
Because you didn't even know about the crucifixion or what the story is or where it was. You don't even know that.
What do you mean? I told you that we don't believe that he got crucified, but it was
Okay.
meant to be seem like he got crucified,
Yeah,
or someone got crucified.
Okay. All right, good. So you believe someone else was put in this
People,
place?
it was meant to seem.
So you believe someone else was put in this place?
That's not really positive. Nobody really knows that fact. If somebody, it just says that it was meant to seem that it was, you know, he was crucified. That's all it says. But some scholars say that someone else was put there. Some scholars says that, you know, someone did get crucified. But either, you know, God could make all things happen, just make it seem like someone got crucified, or all it says it was meant to see. Like,
yeah, does it say that Allah made it seem like that?
Yeah, Allah made it. Well, Allah
Does it
makes
say
all
that?
things happen.
Does it say that?
Or what does it say? Well, it says it was meant to seem to the people like he was
I understand.
crucified.
I understand that. Did it say Allah did that?
Well, Allah says that he didn't get him crucified. So no, Allah didn't crucify him. People assume that he got crucified. However, they got deceived. If people, you know,
What was my question?
We weren't there. We can't say.
What was my
we weren't
question?
there exactly to say the facts.
What was my question?
Did Allah crucify him?
No, that wasn't my question. I'm going to ask it for the third time. Listen, did Allah make it seem like he died on the cross? Did Allah do that?
Well, I guess, you know, Allah, I guess so. It was his plan to make it seem like he died on the cross. Because the world's a test, right? And at that time, if you were to believe that he did die on the cross, it didn't make you a disbeliever at that time. Because
where does it say? Where does it
say?
Where does it say in the Quran that Allah made it seem like that?
Well, it says that it was meant to seem like he died on the cross, and Allah makes all things happen, right? So
no, not. Oh wait, so we don't have free. So we don't.
To happen.
Oh, okay. So we don't have free will.
We have free will, yeah.
Well, what are you talking about? You just said Allah makes everything happen.
He does make it, but free will, like say for example, if I was to go down one path and there's another path, Allah knows predestined where I'm gonna go. He's already planned it out, but it's still my choice to make the choice of where I'm gonna go.
Can I go against
and then I
Allah's
just get
plan?
judged on what choices I make.
Can I go against Allah's plan?
You can go against that because he's the knower of all things. He already knows where you're gonna go.
I understand. So I can't go against it. So that means I don't have free will. That's up to Allah and His plan.
You have free will to a degree, but
To a degree?
even
What degree?
for a
To what degree? To
creator
what degree do I have freedom to
to,
choose?
to acknowledge his wisdom is outside of our capacity. So there's some things that you can't even just get into, because to deal with the creator and his way of creating things and his wisdom behind it. That's something we don't
you said we
understand.
have free will to a degree. To what degree do we have free will?
We do have free will, but Allah knows
Listen to the question, bro. I said, you said we have free will to a degree. To what degree do we have free will?
Well, we do have full free will, okay?
To
We
what
do have free
degree?
will.
To
My
what
point
degree?
was-
You said to a degree. To what degree?
Fully. We have free will fully.
How
We
can we
full
have full free
fully.
will if you just said Allah makes everything happen?
He gives permission to make. Say you have a choice and you make that choice. He gives you the permission to make that choice.
So can I go against His permission?
No, because you can't go against his permission.
So then it's not my will. Then I'm going to do whatever He chooses, right? Whatever he permits, right?
Well, it's not like he's making you do it. You made the choice to do it.
I
He just
have,
gave
but
you
I
the
but I
opening
have to do
door
it
to
if
go
it's
to
His
it.
plan. If you just said this is all part of His plan. If it's
If
His plan, I
have
can't.
10
Can I?
choices, if I have 10 choices and I choose which choice I want to go by, he allows you to make that choice. If you're, for example, your father, you want to do something, and it's your choice if you want to do it, but he just doesn't hold your path. He allows you to go down that path.
Right, but then
That's still your choice.
okay.
You
Well,
made
then
the choice
now
to go down
that's
path.
fine. But now that contradicts what you said earlier. You said Allah wills everything.
Well, he willed for you to go through that path. You made that choice.
No, you just said I made the choice. How can Allah
Yeah.
will a choice for me and then you say I made the choice?
You make the choice, and he allows you to go by the choice that you made.
All right, bro. See you later, man. Guys, if this doesn't show you that Islam is just so like cooked, like, oh my gosh, bro. What like we're just the irony of them talking about the contradictions of the Trinity, but they're like the whole the theology is contradicting. Just a big old Allah wills everything. Okay, so we don't have free will. No. We have full free will. We fully make the choice. Oh, okay, then Allah doesn't will everything. No, Allah does will everything. What do you mean? You just said I have free will. No, well, you do, but your free will, it was fully your choice, but Allah willed it too. Okay. All right, man. Thanks. Thank you. That makes such a simple religion. If a religion of God should be simple, easy to understand, to explain to my 5-year-old, if I explain Islam to my 5-year-old, they fully understand it. Allah is one. No complications. No complications at all. Simple religion. When we get down to like the nitty gritty, confusing as hell. Holy crap. We're all over the place. Like, what the hell are we even doing? That's crazy. That's crazy. Wild work. Wild work. Wild work. Don't forget, guys, we're streaming on the YouTube. Thank you, Sajida. I never seen that one actually. Appreciate it, Sajida. Don't forget I'm on the YouTube. Don't forget the super chats are on, gang. Don't forget that. We do special shout out. We those comments from the super chat are super special. We make time for them. Thank you, Sajida. Appreciate it. Making the rain. Slim over here making the rain for peace. Shout out to Slim. But yeah, don't forget that. Oh gosh. Don't forget that. 1 second, YouTube. My monitor just acted weird. We don't got no other guests or nothing? One second, YouTube. Something happened with my monitor. 1 second. Sorry, gang. I unplugged the camera and everything by accident. So appreciate it. Okay, we do got a super chat though. All right, Lentil, let's run the no free will in Islam topic next. Will be interesting. Yes, I think that's going to be one. Also, the problem of evil. So definitely thank you for the super chat. Let's give you the clap. Let's go. Let's give you the audience clapping. Lentil, thank you so much for your support, bro. You're always in and supporting. I appreciate it. But yeah, no free will in Islam. Going to probably be the next topic. Maybe the problem of evil too. Now that I'm discovering that Allah created evil. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I gotta look more into that. I would be shocked if that's the majority view of Islam. But
let me just see.
hey,
Jesus
bro,
is good.
you a little kid, man. Go clean your room, bro. You a little kid. But yeah, I would be shocked, honestly, if Islam really believes that that Allah created evil. But actually, I don't know. Maybe would I be shocked? Probably not. I guess not. You think about it, it's not that shocking, but I don't know. I find that a little bit too easy to jump
You know
in.
about the free will argument against Islam?
I
can
some of it.
articulate a little bit. All right, so basically, well, when you're arguing like the Atheists, they're going to say that Allah creates your action, right? So every action that you do is created, but they're going to say that you're going to like cause the action, right? That's what they're going to say. I could tell you, if you know Apostolic Prince, he articulates the argument like really well. But the argument goes as, okay, so Allah, he creates you, right? And he creates your actions. And then he writes this down on the pen. I could send you like the hadiths and everything like that. So this pen is going to be, I would say, because they're going to argue that it's second causation. But I'm just going to say the pen is going to be the primary causation, because everything that Allah writes down on the pen is going to be decreed for you, and you have to do what's on the pen. So whatever is written on the pen before you're born, because it says everything that's written on the pen is when you were in the womb. So meaning that you couldn't have chose what these actions were. So it means that Allah created you, and he created the actions, right, that you're going to do, and he decreed it for you before you were born. So then you're just going to be the second causation, just actualizing these actions as you're going on throughout your life. That's what I would argue. Or you can give them like the Muhammad analogy, because they're going to say, well, we just cause the actions. Allah isn't actually responsible. That's the only thing they can go to. So like, for example, like 66:1, where a verse gets sent down to Muhammad, you could just ask them, okay, if Muhammad truly had free will, right? If he would have chose to do otherwise, would the verse have been sent down? Obviously not. So then they're going to have to say, okay, well, then you're going to say, well, okay, well, is Allah a dependent God? Does Allah need Muhammad to do certain actions for verses to get sent down? Well, they're not going to say Allah's dependent, right? That's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're going to have to, obviously, like, you basically force them into saying, okay, Allah must have forced Muhammad to do this.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you want to, like, learn about the argument, I would suggest you go to some guy named Apostolic Prince. You can watch his videos on it. Like, he tried to debate Libiano on it. Libiano ran from him. he wouldn't debate him on it. But yeah, he like articulates the argument really well. My bad, bro, but I heard you talking about it. So
No, you're good, bro. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
God bless though. God
Yeah,
bless.
God bless, bro. Take it easy. Yeah, appreciate it. I heard the argument being ran on somebody, especially with that hadith that he was talking about with the pen, and that particular Muslim struggled with it for sure. And it wasn't just any Muslim; it was a debater. He definitely struggled with it. So I got to look at that hadith or look for it. Somebody suggested Sahih Muslim when I wrote it down. So we'll see. I think I have an idea on how I can, but I need to look at the argument more. So, what's up, brother Todd?
Hey,
What's
how's
up?
it going?
How you doing? What's up, man?
You can hear me all right?
Yep. Brother, you mute every time you're done talking. So, if you're talking right now, we can't hear you. All right, man. Going once. Going twice. And gone. All right, man. Take it easy. I don't know. Maybe he got a call. Maybe he got busy. I don't know. I don't know, man. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to look into the free will thing. Interesting. Interesting argument. Like I said, I heard it run a long time ago. Man, I heard a lot of stuff ran, but it's now we're getting more into the polemics just a little bit more. What's up?
Hello. I have a question to make.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So my question is, if Jesus were sent to the children of Israel, where is Christianity came from?
Yeah. He was sent to the children of Israel first, just like it said the Messianic prophecies, what he would do. But then in the same prophecy that it says that he would go to Israel first, it says then he will be for the rest of the nations. So Christianity came from Jesus.
He mainly were sent to the children of Israel.
At first, it's an order. The Messiah, the order is according to the Messianic prophecies, because you understand that we have prophets that prophesied all this, right? So according to the prophets, the Messiah would come for Israel first and then for all the nations. So what you're pointing to is the order in which he came. He came for Israel first and then all the nations.
So he was in the mission, right?
Of course, yes.
But it never got accomplished.
Who said that?
Because he was crucified, right?
No, that was part of the mission. That was also prophesied.
Okay, so how come you guys claim he's God?
Because that was prophesied as well, that God would come as a man and save humanity.
How can God from another being be a human being?
Because God is all powerful and can take on a human flesh, especially since the human being is made in his own image. Yes, he can do that.
That's not true, because
What's not true?
human beings are part of his creation.
What's not true?
So
What's not true?
God to be a man, to be like in a human body.
Okay. Yeah, maybe
doesn't make sense.
maybe based on Islamic beliefs, that's not true. But we're talking about the Christian beliefs. So that's our belief that he took on a human flesh. Now, you can point to something being incoherent or illogical about it within my belief. You can challenge that if you like. But by saying that this doesn't make sense because you're a Muslim, that's not an argument. That's just an opinion.
No. Just logic. just common
Okay, good.
sense.
So what law?
The
What
creator
law of
of-
logic? What law of logic does it
Of
violate?
the universe, heaven and earth, and including us, how can he be a man?
Yeah,
Is
okay,
he coming from a different high power?
good. What law of logic does it break?
How can he be one of his creation? It
What,
doesn't make
did
no
you hear?
sense.
Did you hear my question?
No, repeat again.
What law of logic does it break?
It breaks the logic.
Okay, what? What logic does it break?
Your guys' logic.
What?
Because,
Which
you
is
know, how
what?
can
Give me one of the laws of
a
logic.
higher power being
Moda,
would be
Moda, do
one
you
of
know?
his
Do you know
creation?
what the laws of
Doesn't
logic
make
are?
no sense.
Moda, do you know what the laws of logic are?
I don't need to know.
You do
It's
need.
just common sense.
Moda, you do need to know because common sense is not logic. Common sense is subjective. Logic is objective, right? So if you're making a claim that there's something in our belief that is illogical or not logical, then that means it violates the laws of logic because the way we know what's logical and what's not is through the laws of logic. So I'm asking you, what law of logic does it break?
It's gonna be an endless debate, but
I think you
I
just
got
don't.
another
I think you
question
just
to
don't. I think you
debate.
just honestly, Moda. I think what it is that you have certain beliefs that you believe are true, and because Christianity goes against what you believe is true, you think that that tension means that there's something illogical going on, but that's not the case. The fact that you think that's an argument is that this goes against Islam, and I think Islam is true. That is illogical. That's a fallacy. That's just an appeal to emotion. My opinion is the truth, yours is not. That's all you're saying. Right? You're not actually presenting an argument. I know why you think you are, because deep down inside you believe that these beliefs are true. But I don't believe those beliefs
How
are
can
true.
they be true?
What, your beliefs? I don't believe your beliefs are true at all.
What you believe in?
And what you believe in?
What you guys believe in?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're going to point out to. But you were presenting an argument that that this is illogical, and I'm asking you how, and you don't have an answer.
I don't need to explain that. It's just
You do.
like you could use your own logic.
How about this? I think Allah.
everything.
I think Allah is illogical. I think Allah is a contradiction. I don't think Allah can be one person and be God. It's impossible.
Exactly.
Brother, you just agreed with me. That means your God's fake.
You claiming Jesus is God. How can that be?
Yeah, well, we already went there. I asked you for bringing an argument for it, and you don't have an answer. So now I'm telling you, I can actually bring an argument against your God and say your God's illogical. And I can show you there
How can you prove it?
by using logic.
Does logic apply to him?
Of course.
It's just a human thing.
No, logic is not humans didn't create logic.
The creator is way above human, a kind of human brain comprehend. So whatever logic that is, it will apply to humans.
Yeah, no, bro. Humans didn't go create the laws of logic. That's not possible because the laws of logic existed before humans. So, anyways, bro, you need to think about what you're saying, because what you're saying is, I believe you're presenting an argument against Christianity, and really what you're saying is, I believe Christianity is not true because I believe Islam is true, and that's not an argument, bro. That's just your opinion. So, have a good day.
Yo, hello.
What's up?
Yeah, so would you say that the Father and the Son are going to be co-referential?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah, so it's just going to be like two terms or expressions that can refer to the same entity or object in all context.
When we're saying if you're going to say they're co-referential according to their nature, yes, but not person.
It doesn't work because when we speak of co-referentiality, it's just going to be speaking in all context. There isn't like a certain said context where you can say, okay, the Son is going to be co-referential to God in the respect that his essence, right? When we speak of co-referentiality, we're going to be speaking in general.
Okay.
is
So
the
let me
Son
ask you a
and the
question.
Father going to be co-referential in all
Good.
contexts?
Let me show you how what you're saying is actually doesn't hold. So when we're looking at the sun outside, right? When I see that when the light shines on me, right? I'm saying that's the sun. I'm referring it to it as the sun. The sun is shining on me. Is that a true statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
The light from the sun is shining.
Correct. Right. And then when I go out there, and let's say I go out there and my skin gets exposed and I get burnt from the sun, I'll say the sun burnt me. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. You would agree that both are referencing the same thing, right? The same entity?
Yeah.
But the light,
What do you mean both?
well, when I say the light that was shining on me and then the sun that was burning me, right? I'm referring to the same entity, right?
Mhm.
But the light,
Yeah,
but
so this-
one second. Okay, so you agree with me on that we're referring to the same
Yeah.
entity. But is the light is the light the same as the heat, or are they distinct from each other?
It would be a distinction. But
Exactly.
the problem is
So
with
there you
this
go.
analogy,
So there you go. Hold
this
on.
is just going to be like,
Hold on, bro. Hold on. So thank you. So now you just proved that the light that I was referring to that was shining on me and the heat that burned me, even though those two are distinct from each other, they were both being used to reference the one entity, even though they're distinct.
yeah, but this is just going to be like purely like conceptual or depending on a specific context.
Why would it be?
would you
What's
say
the
that the
conceptual?
Father being unbegotten
What's
and the Son
conceptual?
being
Hold on, bro.
begotten is gonna-
Hold on. Stop. Don't start going on to something else. What was
What do you mean?
conceptual?
I'm not moving on.
Stay on
I'm
the-
explaining to you why the analogy is going to fall short.
Good.
Under this said context.
Listen, brother, when we're talking about the analogy here, I'm not doing a one-for-one analogy for God. I'm just using the analogy for the principle of saying that there could be two things that are distinct and being referenced to the same entity, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I know
good.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Can I, let me explain my point. So, for example, right?
So you agree?
with
So
your
you do
analogy.
agree? So you do agree
What
with
you're
me?
saying, right?
Okay, real quick. You do agree with me on that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Your
good.
analogy
All right.
is fine.
All right, go
But
ahead. Proceed.
the reason why I say it falls short with the Trinity is because, for example, we can say Clark Kent and Superman are going to be co-referential, right? They're going to refer to the same entity, but the distinction is going to be real. Like Superman and Clark Kent, if we seen them, obviously we would see there's some sort of distinction, but the distinction is going to merely be context dependent or perspective dependent, just like the analogy you gave.
No.
So it's going to be
Brother, but I don't believe there's a conceptual distinction within the Trinity, bro. Like when we're talking about the person.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. So if there's not a conceptual distinction, right, then how are they going to be co-referential?
I don't believe the sun analogy was a conceptual distinction either.
How is it not? Because this is merely context dependent.
No,
Because
it's
the
not.
sun
It's
burnt
not
you.
context dependent. The light and the sun are really distinct from each other.
Yeah, that's fine. But you told me
So that's not a
concept.
So that's not a conceptual distinction.
Yeah, wait. Yes, it is, because you said the light that was shining on you, right, is going to also refer to the sun. And then you said you being burnt. Let's say a little bit later, you being burnt is also going to be referring to the sun.
Brother,
This is just going to be context dependent.
JJ, hold on. You just said that there's a real distinction between the light and the heat, right?
Yes.
But then you're saying that is a conceptual distinction?
The light and the sun. Wait, are you using the light and the sun? I thought you were talking about the light.
I'm sorry, the light. Sorry, the light and the heat. You said the light and the heat are distinct, right?
Yeah, the light and the heat. Yeah.
Okay, and that's a real distinction, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the light and the light and the heat are really distinct. So how is this a conceptual distinction?
You said on your body, the light shining on your body, and then you being burnt. This is just going to be context dependent, because you're talking about the light at one point it's shining on your body, and then later you come outside and you're burnt. This is just perspective dependent.
Those are two different things, though. The light is one thing, the heat is another.
But this is context dependent with the sun and this. With the
no, it's not, bro. Brother,
dependent.
there doesn't need to be context to understand. You just admitted that there's a distinction between the light and the heat. So therefore, if it's a real distinction, it's no longer. It cannot be a real distinction and a conceptual distinction at the same. The context doesn't matter at that point if it's an actual real distinction. No matter what the context is, the light is never going to be the heat. That's going to be a distinction.
Yeah, the light isn't going to be the heat. Obviously, that's fine.
But this is merely context dependent because you like we can
You
say
need to
Superman
okay.
or-
Look, listen.
or-
Look,
or
before I'm
actually
just gonna interrupt you
distinct.
just one more time. I'm gonna interrupt you just one more time. You said this is context dependent. What I need you to explain is justify that how this is context dependent, please.
Yeah, I got you. So give the analogy one more time.
Oh my gosh, dude. What? So you can't explain how it's context dependent?
I said give me the analogy one more time so I can make sure that I'm actually tracking. I don't want to misrepresent your analogy.
Okay. So the whole argument from the beginning is you cannot make something two things co-referential, like for two things. So we're talking about the persons and the nature. All right. My response to the co-referential statement is that the persons can be referenced to their nature or their being, but when we're talking about the personhood, they're going to be distinct. All right. You said no, that can't be possible. If they're co-referential in one thing, they have to be co-referential in all things. Okay. I may not be saying it verbatim what you said. I'm just summarizing. Okay. So if I'm not representing you, you can correct me. Then I said, okay, let me give you an analogy on how that principle does not work. Because we know the light in itself is not the sun as a whole. The heat in itself is not the sun as a whole. However, the light and the heat emanate from the sun. So when I go outside and the light is shining on me from the sun, I can refer that to be the sun. When the heat burns my skin, I can refer that to being the sun, the same exact entity that I referred to the light. However, the light and the heat are really distinct from each other. And a light within itself is distinct from just the sun within itself, if that makes sense. So therefore, your principle doesn't follow that I have to collapse persons and nature just because the Son and the Father are referenced to the one nature. That doesn't follow.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, so you're saying, okay, yeah, then I guess I get your analogy.
Okay.
So you're saying that since they're really distinct, the light can refer to the sun, but the light obviously isn't going to refer to the heat, and the heat can refer to the sun, but the heat isn't going to refer to the light. That's what you're saying. And you're saying it's not context dependent, right?
They're really distinct, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess I get what you're saying, yeah.
Okay. So that's why the hypostasis and the ousia, or the nature and the persons, are going to be distinct from each other, but they're inseparable. The person subsists from the nature.
Okay.
Are you Muslim?
All right, got it. Thank you, bro.
No problem. Are you Muslim? Oh, okay. Shoot. Oh, Bryce J is here. Shout out to Bryce J. I didn't even know if that last kid was Muslim, but because it looked like he had an icon, but I don't know if that was a Christian icon. What's up?
Hello, brother.
How you doing?
I read here you say Jesus is God, not Allah.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the Muslims and the Christians don't worship the same God.
So, Christians worship who? Jesus.
The creator, the actual creator of the universe, not a fake one.
Oh, the fake one.
Yeah.
So, but who is that actual one?
Who's what?
Who is that actual one that the Christians believe?
What, the creator?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus is the creator.
Jesus is the creator.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Is Jesus now? So Jesus is the one who created this universe we are living in.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. But Jesus is a human being, so how can he create this universe, though?
Well, we don't believe he's just a human being. We believe he's God that took on a human flesh. So obviously he wasn't created or anything. He is the creator.
I understand you. Okay. Are you able to read the quote a verse?
From where? The Bible?
Can we go to John 8:40?
John 8:40.
Yes, for educational purpose. No,
Do you take John as a reliable source?
Is it not the? So which book do you believe then, though? If you don't believe in John,
I didn't say I didn't. I'm asking if you take John as a reliable source.
yeah, but can we read the verse? So because there it clearly shows that Jesus is speaking on his own words, saying that I am a man.
Okay.
That is.
But do you take this book as a reliable source? The whole book?
The whole book?
Mm-hmm.
I think our narrative was not there because I asked you, Jesus is a human being. How can he be?
I do believe Jesus took on a human flesh and he was fully human.
I believe that Jesus is not the God. That's what I believe according to me.
You don't believe? I understand that, but you're quoting John. So we're going to read this verse. I just want to know, do you take the whole book of John as a reliable source?
I take Jesus' words.
So, okay. So if I give you Jesus' words in the book of John, you would be okay with that?
I have no problem at all.
You would accept it as true, correct?
If it is Jesus' words.
Okay. All right, no problem. Let's read this verse. Here we go.
I'm here for educational purpose.
Huh?
I'm here for educational purpose.
Right. Yeah, sure. Okay. But now you seek to unalive me, a man who has told you the truth that I heard from God. This is not what Abraham did. Okay.
Here now is Jesus who is speaking, that he is saying, now you seek to kill me, a man, and who told you the truth, which I have heard from God. So
hold on. Hold on. Don't forget the last part of the verse. He says the last part of the verse says, this is not what Abraham did. What does he mean by that?
This is not what Abraham did. It means that way.
Yeah, what do you think that means?
This did not Abraham. Oh?
This is not what Abraham did. He's saying that Abraham didn't try to unalive him. Why would Jesus say that?
Can I build my question, please?
I'm just, you brought the verse. I don't want you to just, we got to take the whole verse. I agree with you that he says that I come to you with the truth that I heard from God. But it says that Abraham did not try to unalive him. What does Jesus mean by that? Was he alive during Abraham?
During Abraham?
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that? Do you believe that he was alive during Abraham?
Jesus?
Yes.
I need to make a research about that, but I was coming to this place, please.
Yeah, Abdul, my point is this: no matter what you bring to this verse, there's a serious implication here, because if you read the rest of the passage, he claims to be he claims to have spoken to Abraham, and that he was around during the time of Abraham. And this is in the same passage where he says, "Before Abraham was, I am," where he calls himself the name of God, Yahweh. And then also says that Abraham saw him and that before Abraham was, he existed. How can a human like that was born of a virgin in the first century exist before Abraham?
Yeah, but are these words, or are these Jesus' words, or
yes? Everything I just gave you are Jesus's words. Yes. You said that you're okay with his words in the book of John.
Everywhere. Not only book of John,
good.
Everywhere.
But in this chapter, everything I quoted you was from Jesus' words, which you say you take as true. So obviously it's true that he existed before Abraham, if you're going to take these words as true. So how can Jesus be just a human if he existed during the time of Abraham?
You know, I was the one who took this chapter and wanted to phrase a question. But it seems that you're going a little bit ahead. Can we start from the first point so we can go?
Hey, Abdul, can you just answer the question? Because this is contradictory to your argument. Whatever argument you bring, you still have to answer this question.
I will answer.
So I already look here. I'll help you with your argument. Your argument is that because in verse 40 he says, I heard a truth from God. How can he be God if he heard from God? That's your argument,
No,
right?
No.
Okay.
My question is here he is saying, but now you seek to kill me, a man.
A man.
Yeah.
Okay, good. A man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's saying a man.
Mhm.
And then here again he's saying he had it from God.
God.
So there is two things here.
Two
One,
things.
he say,
Two things.
when he's saying a man, you seek to kill me, a man. And here he's saying he had it from God. So this, when I read, it shows me that he had it from God. That means he had it from God while he is a man. So how can he be a God while there is another God that he had it from?
because we believe he's God that took on flesh. Now, the rest of the verse has, I want you to respond to this. Here's my answer to your question. Because God took on flesh and he is the Son of God and God is triune, 3 persons. Okay, that's the answer. Now, here I can prove that to you given what Jesus says here, which you say you're going to take as true. So here in verse 40 it says this is not what Abraham did. So apparently Abraham did not try to unalive him. But how can Abraham try to unalive Jesus or not unalive Jesus if Abraham never met Jesus? Well, apparently he did. Because if you go to verse 50, if you go to verse 58, it says, "Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am." If you read from verse 55, here's what he says. But you have not known him. I know him. If I were to say I do not know him, I would be a liar like you. But I do know him, and I keep his word. Your father Abraham rejoiced that he would see my day. He saw it and was glad. So Abraham saw Jesus. So the Jews said to him, "You are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen Abraham?" And Jesus said to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am." So they picked up stones to throw at him because he was claiming to be God. So now explain that. How can he be a human and have met Abraham?
My brother, as I told you, I raised the question for educational purposes. I came across many places in the Bible when I read it that Jesus is a man accredited by God with miracles and wonders and signs. So I was wondering, like example, if I give you in Acts 2:22, it states again a man. So
in that verse, once again, he also claims to be God. Peter claims that Jesus is God there.
In Acts 22.
Yeah, bro. Here, this is the last one, but you're not tracking. You're not really here for educational purposes. You're here to bring an argument.
Saying,
here, I'll read it. Hold on, bro. This is a. Please be quiet, okay? Because now this is for the audience. Acts 2:22. Men of Israel, hear the words, Jesus of Nazareth, a man attested to you by God with mighty works and wonders and signs that God did through him in your midst, so as you yourselves know. This is Peter talking about Jesus. Oh no, he called Jesus a man. No. Oh well, let's read the whole thing, okay? If we go to verse 16 and 17, it says, "But this is what was uttered through the prophet Joel." So this is back in the Old Testament, and here's what he quotes. It says, "And in the last days it shall be, God declares that God says, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh." So according to the prophecy, God pours out the spirit to all flesh. Let's fast forward and let's go to verse. I always forget what the verse it is. When is your souls? Okay, let's go to verse 33, verse 32 and 33. Okay, and this is what Peter says right after verse 22. "This Jesus God raised up, and of that we are all witnesses, being therefore exalted at the right hand of God, and having received from the Father the promise of the Holy Spirit. He has," referring to Jesus, "he has poured out this to you yourselves, are seeing and hearing." So Jesus is the one pouring out the Holy Spirit, but according to the prophecy, it is God that pours out the Holy Spirit. How can that be? Oh, I know how that can be, because the Father and the Son are one and the same God, but different persons. So yes, this doesn't prove that either. So there's your education. Go study it. Oh my gosh. What's up? What's up? You a little kid, man. I'm only here for education purposes, okay? Okay, so how can he have met Abraham? Well, in Acts chapter 2, just change the topic, bro. What the hell? Three persons, one nature. Mm-mm-mm. Do me a favor, guys. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're on TikTok and you see my panel, go ahead and hit the follow button onto Peace, please, because she does go live. And if you guys are supporters of me, definitely go support her. If there's a little plus sign next to her name, that means you don't follow her. So it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So take care of that. Take care of that. YouTube, 55 people on the YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Thank you guys for the support. Yeah, I think guys, I'm definitely going to be looking into this topic of the problem of evil with Islam. I think it's going to be a fun topic. I think the free will thing and the evil thing go hand in hand, honestly. I think I know how I'm going to build it up. Just need to look at a couple hadiths. And we're going to be the cooking. We're going to get the cooking of the cooking. Can you read Deuteronomy 18:18? This guy. I'm only here for education. What's up? What's up? Hello. Prophet Priscilla. You are live, Prophet Priscilla. NGO and Bingo was his name. But you got Coco Melon in the back? That Coco Melon be smacking on a Saturday.
Okay,
That Coco Melon be hitting on a Saturday, bruh. Yeah, wheels on the bus go round and round. Round and round. Round and round.
Sorry for that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Good evening. I don't know when it's evening that side.
You don't know what?
I don't know when it's evening that side. Here it's evening. That's why I'm greeting that good evening.
Oh, yeah. No, it's afternoon over here.
Oh. Yeah. I can say I'm very happy to hear your teachings. I think these teachings are educating a lot of people.
Thank you.
Yeah, though some they cannot understand because these things are spiritual. For them to understand who Jesus Christ really is, they need the help of the Holy Spirit for them to understand. Yeah.
Well, we got to keep praying for him, sister. But thank you so much for the kind words. God bless you and your children. And I'm going to see if I can let the next guest up, okay? Thank you so much, though. I appreciate you.
Yo, my bad, bro.
What's up?
Yeah, but like, bro, if you want, I can give you hadiths, bro, and stuff too.
Just DM it to me if you want.
Cause like, bro, the argument, bro. I even, Omar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him about it. Like, they don't really have an answer, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They literally just say that we cause our actions. That's like the only. So like, if you like study on that, because you know how they affirm like God is like absolutely one. They affirm absolutely one will. So if they say that we really cause our actions, since they don't affirm multiplicity like at whatsoever, then they cannot. You can make them fall into shirk too by them saying that. But if you want, I can type some hadiths and some verses in the chat.
No, you
that,
could
like,
just
really,
DM it to
really,
me. Just DM
it's
it
like
to me.
a big dilemma, bro. It's bad.
Just DM it to me. You can send it to me on Discord.
Yeah, I
I'm
got you,
looking
bro.
Yeah.
I got you.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro.
All right, you too.
All right. Dingo was his name. Oh, that's the thing, man. When you play Coco Melon, that Coco Melon be with you the rest of the day. It's no joke. They be getting you. You be sitting there vibing to some wheels on the bus go round and round. Straight vibing.
Bro, that Coco Melon be hitting, bro.
They'll be hitting, bro.
That Coco Melon be hitting, bro. That was a good analogy with the sun, bro.
Oh, thanks. Are you Christian? That's a cross.
Yeah, I'm a Trinitarian.
Okay.
I'm usually up with Babylon and Jay and a bunch of these other guys. I just saw you for the first time today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's. I can't
up
take
until you keep it up, man.
Yeah,
Great
thank you.
analogies.
It's not
well presented.
That's not my analogy though. It's the church fathers. The church fathers.
No, I know. It's just not.
I just gotta honor.
presented in a way like that. You know?
I just gotta honor the church fathers. That's all. Because they're the ones that did it. But thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Point, man. It's right along the line of what they say in their actual writings. A lot of people come up and misquote it. They use bad analogies, or they're like kind of hacked up analogies, or they don't quite know the material before they come up and present it.
Yep.
And really doesn't present a strong case. But that last guy was so conflicted by that when he actually got it that he just like admitted that he cooked himself and dropped.
Yeah, but I don't think he was Muslim. I think he was just trying to find answers. That's what it seemed like. Yeah.
Maybe. A lot of these people are culturally Muslim, bro, and they don't even according to their religion, they're really apostates. They just keep going along with it because they don't have anything else.
Yeah.
They don't want to drop it or commit apostasy openly because they don't want to be subjugated by their communities and ostracized by their families. So
yeah,
it's understandable.
But thank you, man. I appreciate your kind words. I'm gonna.
Yeah, God bless you, man.
Yeah,
God bless you. God bless your ministry.
All right, man. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you. Nice words. What's up?
Shalom, brother. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Shalom.
How prayer request, brother?
Sorry, what?
How a prayer request?
Are you Muslim?
Pardon?
Are you Muslim?
I'm Christian, brother.
Why do you have a Quran on your profile pic?
That's the Bible, brother. King James 16:11.
Are you hold on one second. That's a Bible? Is that the Geno Jennings one?
What is it?
Is that the Geno Jennings Bible?
A brother gave me this. I don't know who he was. I just told him I said to wait there. And he gave me this. He said he gave me this Bible free.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the name. Who is he? Who is Geno Jennings?
Geno Jennings. Do you believe in the Trinity?
Huh?
Do you believe in the Trinity?
You low, brother.
Do you believe in the Trinity?
I believe in the Bible, brother.
Does that mean you believe in the Trinity or no?
Again, you're low, brother. I'm sorry.
All right, man. We got sound issues, bro. You got noise in the background. You got crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, so you can't hear me because you got echo, and it's just crazy. So.
Hello.
What's up?
Nah.
You're muted, bro. When you go away from TikTok and mute your mic. I don't know if you got a call or. Hello. Going once, going twice. All right, see you later. See you later.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.
What you saying, bro?
What?
How you been?
I'm doing good.
Today.
How are you?
I'm blessed, brother. That's good. That's good. Good to hear. I got one question, man.
Mm-hmm.
Did Jesus pray?
Yeah.
Jesus alayhi wasalam. Yes, sir. I mean, Jesus prayed to God, right?
To the Father, yeah. Who is God? Yep.
I mean, that don't really make sense, bro. You saying Jesus is God, but God prays to God, and then Father is God, and Jesus is God, but Father.
Yeah. It's because we believe in the Trinity.
Huh?
It's because we believe in the Trinity.
No. I mean, did Jesus believe in the Trinity?
Brother, he's the triune God. So
I got a question before you go on. Is Jesus a Jew?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Jews believe in Jesus, huh?
The Jews that followed him, yeah.
So the Jews today are in Jesus' ways, yeah?
Some of them, yeah.
I agree. We pray to Allah. Yes, sir.
How can Allah make sense and he's just one person?
My brother, that means
it's illogical.
Allah is in Arabic for God.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, but your God,
Listen,
is only your God. Factors. Hold on, bro.
Allah,
hey, brother. Hold on, man. Hold on. But you believe he's one person, so like it doesn't make sense because like,
one being, yes, sir.
Brother, can I finish what I'm saying?
I'm agreeing with you, bro. But yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so you do believe he's the most loving, right?
The most merciful, all of that, brother. Yes.
And that's an attribute that's eternal to him, right?
He has no start and no beginning and no end, my brother. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So there's nothing in him that begins, right?
What, brother?
There's nothing in Allah that begins, right?
Pardon?
There's nothing in Allah that begins, right? There's nothing in Allah that begins, right? It's my last time I'm going to ask this.
He creates the beginnings, my brother, but yes.
Okay, so you do agree there's nothing in Allah that begins, right?
I don't know what you mean by that, bro. You be asking it too many times, brother.
Yeah, so you said there's no beginning to Allah.
Explain your question, my bro. I mean,
it's not even really a question. It's not really even a question. Factors, if you shut your mouth, you'll be able to hear me.
Okay, don't need to get read, bro. Okay.
Are you ready to listen now?
I've been listening, brother, yes.
Okay. I'm going to mute your mic just in case. I know you can't control yourself.
Go ahead, bro.
Thanks. You said there's no beginning. Allah is no beginning. So I'm just reiterating it. Allah doesn't have anything in him that begins, right? You can answer that now.
Yeah.
Okay. So who was he loving before creation?
Who was he loving?
Yeah.
Can God love himself, brother?
Yeah, but that's
not. He wants to? Yes, sir. There's your answer, my bro.
Okay, good. So he was loving himself. So now.
I mean, bro. Listen. I'm not.
Hey, hold on, factors. Hold on,
good.
I'm accepting that answer. He loved himself. Okay. Can Allah express all forms of love without creation?
Bro, he can express a form of love. We cannot.
Can he express all forms of love without creation?
Yes,
okay, good.
Yes.
How can he show love to another without creation?
Being. Yeah. I mean, brother, if you are someone and you don't even know who you are, and someone that knows who you are, appreciates who you are, that someone loves who you are, my brother, even though they don't know who you are.
Bro, what the hell are you saying? How did he express love to another without creation?
Cat. Okay, do you have any pets, my brother? Do you have any pets?
No. How can Allah express love to another without creation?
My brother, you cannot tell me what is love, bro. What is love to you?
Love is an action.
Okay, so what type of action, bro, is it?
It's an action that you give to another. There's a subject required. So my
Okay,
my
so what
question,
is it? Is
my
there
question.
some type
So can you said he's
polarity
loving?
or
You said
what,
he's
bro?
loving for eternity.
Bro,
So what was he loving? How can he express his love without creation to another?
Okay, he loves all of his creation, bro.
Yeah, before
I
creation.
don't know
How
what you're
can
on.
so he can't? Can he do it without creation?
Bro, I don't know, bro.
Okay.
Can Jesus
There you go.
preach without any?
So here you go.
listening,
So
bro?
factors. Don't ever in your life question anything about the Trinity unless you understand your own God.
Bro, you cannot question God.
See you later. You cannot question God. Did you hear what this idiot was saying on the way out? You cannot question God. But once again, it's the presupposition, the biases. He can question Jesus, but what if I say you can't question God? Right? They wouldn't take that as an answer. The hypocrisy. What's up? Oh, man, you're a little kid, man. You got echo anyway. You're a little kid, man. What's up? Oh, man.
Oh, never mind. Somebody already took it down. I don't know if that was you or one of your mods, but that dude that you thought had a Corona,
Yeah.
that actually had that Bible.
He's asking
Dude's
for money.
yeah, dude's been on at least 15 big lives. He always comes in comments and he's posting his PayPal talking about he's homeless. But when he's actually come up on some of our Christian panels and we've asked him about his issues, we've asked him if we could send him some things, where we could send it, all this stuff, he always leaves without saying a word. And then never gets back to us and blocks our accounts.
Yeah.
So just beware of that guy.
Thanks,
Anybody that saw that and your heart got pricked, like, do what you want to do, but that guy's not in the situation that he's describing, and he's lying. So don't get your money stolen.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks.
God bless you.
Appreciate it. God bless. Fact is, you're done for the day, bro. You used your one try. This dude said, I don't know who he was loving. I don't know. Ah, man. I don't know, guys. This might be the end. We might have reached the end. We might have hit the end of the road. The end of the road.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
What's up?
Yeah. So why you see Jesus is God? Explain to me.
Because I believe in the Bible.
Hello.
Because I believe in the Bible.
Okay. Is Jesus omniscient in the Bible?
Yes.
So how did you know that it was the season of the figs in Mark 11?
He did. He was using it as prophecy.
You want to go to the verse?
Go ahead, bring it up. I just told you he did it on purpose to show a prophecy.
What prophecy do you want to show? Oh, give me a second. I'll go get my phone, my computer.
The prophecy.
Or you pull it up because I'm on my tablet.
The prophecy he's showing is a prophecy in Jeremiah that describes the temple as a fig tree producing bad fruits. So he cursed the fig tree to make the prophecy that the temple will go down, which it did. in 70 AD.
So, okay, good. So why does he have to go closer to the fig tree to see if he was not aware of his creation?
Yeah, he was aware of it. All of it was a demonstration for a prophecy. It was to show his disciples that just as the prophet Jeremiah said that the temple would not produce any fruits or bad fruits, I forget what it was. He's showing it through the fig tree, and he explains it later. That it's the temple going down. They had just left the temple.
What's the verse in?
I don't know, it's in several different places. You look at it's your argument. You look it up, bro. But I'm giving you the explanation. Doesn't matter if you read it or not. I already gave you the explanation.
It's explicitly said he doesn't know. Just an explicit verse. Why you want to go to the unexplicit?
It's a demonstration of a prophecy, bro. That's all it is.
Okay, if it's a prophecy, who gives Jesus himself his prophecy? Who gives Jesus his prophecy?
Well, I don't know what you mean by that question. Who gives him the prophecy?
What?
Don't know what you mean by that question, bro.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Who gives him the prophecy?
Who let him prophesize? Who gives him the ability to prophesy?
He's God, bro.
Jesus,
He's God. He's God. He knows all things.
So you mean God the Father according to you?
No, I mean him and the Father share the same mind. So whatever the Father does or knows, so does the Son.
Okay, if the Father thinks himself is the Father thinks he is the Father, does Jesus think himself he is the Father too?
No, we don't believe he's the Father. We believe in the Trinity.
No, you didn't. You don't understand my question. If does according to what you call God the Father, if God the Father think he is God the Father and not God the Son, right?
Yeah. So God doesn't think in propositions that way. That would be a proposition.
What do you mean?
Like the proposition would be, I am the Father, therefore I'm not the Son. That's not how God thinks, because he encompasses all knowledge. So what you're describing is how a creature's mind would work, but God doesn't have a creature's mind.
So you see that the Father thinks he's the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit, according to you.
God's all knowing. He doesn't think. He doesn't process knowledge.
But does he affirm? Okay, affirm.
Affirm what?
Does the Father affirm he's the Son?
Does the Father affirm? I don't know what that has to do with anything, bro.
Yeah,
what you're trying to do, you're trying to pose like an argument that it's illogical for them to have the same mind, therefore have these thoughts if they share the same mind, right? But you're describing. Can you please let me finish?
Go on.
But you're describing a mind of a creature, of a created being that processes information. God's mind doesn't process information. He's all knowing.
No, it's not what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not about mind. It's about affirming.
Okay.
Like himself being conscious.
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about.
Just present the argument, bro. Just what's your argument?
Yeah, we're talking about Mark 11, the fig tree stuff.
No, you went into propositional knowledge. Now you're going back to the fig tree. Which one do you want to do, bro? You got to go one at a time.
Fig tree, okay. Okay, very easy. Okay, so let's see what you say. How you say what true. You guys like to go to ambiguous stuff. So why did Jesus want to eat?
Why did what?
So you're telling God want to eat?
Yes, because he has a human nature. Yeah. What's the problem?
Does the divine nature want to eat?
Yes. Oh, not the divine nature, the human nature.
Sorry. Look, it's so complicated. It's so it deroutes you from logic. So what's the problem? Just not accepting Tawhid. Tawhid is way easier.
Oh, it is. Do you think your God's dependent?
No, he's not dependent.
Okay. So is he the most loving?
Yes. in Surah
Good.
85.
Yeah, that means he's the most loving. So can he express all forms of love without creation?
Yes, because he
How?
has to possess it before like expressing it.
Okay, good. So he's not expressing it before creation?
Yeah, he has it, but he doesn't need to express it.
He doesn't need to express it?
Yeah, it's like he's a creator, but he doesn't need to create.
So he doesn't need to create. Okay, good. So then do you believe
Why does he need to create? No, stay on this. Why does he need to create?
because if his attribute, do you believe these attributes are part of his nature?
What do you mean part of his nature?
Do you believe they're within his nature, these attributes? Are they eternal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if they're eternal,
Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyu al-qayyum in Surah 3 verse.
okay, yeah, you don't need to recite it, bro. You don't need to recite it. Okay, so he's eternal. That means he has no beginning, no end, correct?
Awwal wal akhir in Surah 57.
Can you just give me a yes or no? I don't understand Arabic.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's what I'm saying. Don't stop reciting it because I don't know what you're saying. So he's eternal, no beginning, no end, right? That means he's unchanging. Allah doesn't change, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So this attribute of the most loving is within his nature, which is unchanging. But you just said that before creation, he wasn't expressing it, and then he expresses it. That's a change.
His action can be okay. Allah acts in time.
Okay. Can he express this action without creation?
What do you mean express his action?
The action of loving. Can he express it without creation?
Yes.
How?
Because he possesses it.
I know he possesses it. It's not my contention. I'm asking, can he express what he possesses without creation?
Yes.
Okay, how?
You just have to say it.
Say what?
He needs to affirm it. That's it.
Who is he loving before creation then?
He doesn't need to express it.
I didn't say he did. I'm just asking, how can he express it without creation?
What's the point?
The point is, if you are making the claim that he doesn't need creation to express that love, then you need to justify that, not just say it, and show us how. But according to Tawheed, there's no one to love before creation. Therefore, it logically follows that he needs creation in order to express this love, making him dependent.
No. So why did he create in the first place?
Your God?
No, your God. Why are you wrong?
So
why does God create?
Do you concede that Allah is dependent?
No, it's not dependent.
Okay. Well, you just said through the questions that we're asking, it seems like he's dependent on creation to express his love.
Just take the clear and don't focus on the ambiguous. You take Surah 100.
But this is not ambiguous at all. You said he doesn't need creation to express his love. Okay. If you can justify that,
it's almost.
if you can justify that he doesn't need creation to express his love, then I'll grant that to you. I'll say, fine, he's independent. But how can he do that?
Because he possesses.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying if he possesses it.
What created like you?
If he possesses it and he's independent, that means he doesn't need creation to express what he possesses. So I'm just saying, does he need creation to express his love?
No, he doesn't need creation.
Okay, good. So then, all right, no problem. So then if he doesn't need creation, how does he do it before creation?
He does not need to express it.
I didn't say he does. I'm just saying, how does he do it without creation?
He doesn't express it. That's it.
Okay, can he do it without creation?
Yes.
Okay, how?
Because he possesses. Okay, switch topic. I ain't talking now about this. So why did God create?
Hey,
you,
Eunice,
me, and like
Eunice. You notice the difference between me and you, right? The difference is you.
no,
I misheard you, and I thought you said the human nature, and I said yes, and I corrected myself, and you
no,
and
because,
you giggled. You giggled like a little
because
girl.
it's so counterintuitive.
You giggled like a little girl and said, "This is so complicated, you can't
it's
catch
not
it."
to insult.
But notice, I asked you very simple questions about your God, and now it's just silence. Like you don't know what to say.
No, I explained to you. Like God needs to be internal. Like he needs to be first and last. Okay.
Correct. He
But
needs to not be within time.
yeah, but his attribute that he has that he doesn't need to have, but he has it.
He doesn't need to have it, but he has it.
Yeah.
Do you believe a lot like God is necessary, that he can change?
No, he can't change.
Okay. So then
So you haven't answered why did God create the world? I'll just
yeah, he freely chose to he freely willed the creation of this world out of his love. Next question.
Well, what do you mean?
And he chose creation because of his love. I mean, he did created because of love. He wanted to love his creation. What's the issue?
Okay, for us in Islam, he created us to worship him.
Okay.
Does
he love his creation?
Yes.
Can he love someone else without creation?
Oh my God! This argument, I don't know what you want.
Yeah, that's why Tawhid is illogical, bro. Because he can't. That would make.
Okay, what's wrong with worshiping a single God in one single person? Explain to me.
Because you're single.
Without intermediaries.
Because you.
Okay, explain.
I'm literally about to explain. You're like jumping in already, bro. I said one word. I said because, and you're already jumping in.
Okay, explain.
Okay. Because him being one person makes him imperfect. He's not perfect. And he's not transcendent. Therefore, he cannot be the creator. It makes him a false god.
So no, I'll repeat my question. Why it's not okay? It's unjust worship a single God in a single person.
Because if you're worshiping a God that's a single person, he's not actually God. It's a false God. It's impossible for him to be the creator.
Why does he need? Okay, so why does he need partners to create?
I didn't say that. I just said that.
That's what you want to imply.
No, I'm saying that he needs to be multi-personal in order for him to be logical. Yes, I am saying that. But we don't believe those are multiple gods. It's just multiple persons within one God.
So what's multiple gods according to you?
Different beings, different entities.
Okay, at least you answered. This is good. So why do you want to worship a God that worships the God himself?
Because he is the one true God. I just want to worship the. I want to worship.
One true God. So
I want to worship.
Quantities like not equal.
I want to worship the one true God, the one that actually created the universe. And according to logic, unless you want to fall away from classical theism and you want to worship a God that contradicts himself. If you want to worship a God that contradicts himself, that can't be true. Then the God that created the universe would have to be multi-personal. Because a unipersonal God cannot ground any of these ideas like love. Can't. He needs creation in order to love another. That would make him dependent.
So you say your God is dependent on things.
No, I'm saying your God is dependent, which means your God can't be God. Yo, you know, laughing doesn't like help your situation. You understand that everybody. You understand that there's like over 100 people watching, and nobody is convinced that you're actually like doing something here. Everybody sees your insecurities.
Yeah, it's because Allah misleads them. That's it.
Yeah, we don't have free will. Your God desires evil.
Yeah, so I have a question. So do you agree that Jesus, like your God, died, right?
He experienced death. Yes.
Yeah. So whatever human nature, whatever like divine nature. So at that point, his creation was overpowering. Is overpowering him. Do you agree?
No.
But if he was not overpowering him, he wouldn't be dead.
He just allowed it to happen.
No, but did he overpower?
Who did he overpower? Did he overpower? What kind of question?
No, the creation, like the creation that killed your God, like.
He's your God too. You just don't know it. But he allowed it to happen.
No, did they overpower him?
No, he allowed it to happen.
But in order to allow to happen, right? Did they overpower him?
No, for the 5th time. No.
Okay. So I don't know what to say.
I know, because you don't have an argument, bro. Your God's illogical. He needs creation to love. And therefore, he's not independent. If he's not independent, he's not God. So your God changes.
Your God dependent on like food to survive.
That's just when he took on a human nature within creation. That doesn't mean the divine person needs food to exist. That's not what that means.
Your God dependent on another God to save to save his own creation. Well,
bro, you're stuttering.
Bro. What's a God that's more loving?
You're stuttering now. You're stuttering now. You're stuttering now. Go figure out who God was loving before creation and whether he needs creation or not. Why don't you go study that?
He doesn't need creation.
Okay, good. Then who was he loving before creation?
These things doesn't matter.
Exactly. It doesn't matter because it doesn't matter because it actually directly directly annihilates your theology. That's why it doesn't matter. You want to avoid it.
If explain to me why there's no more person. Like, why don't you believe like in 10 person, 1100 person in your God? Like, does that increase like the like more people to love, like according to you?
Yeah. All I know is through divine revelation that he is 3. And 3 is
why not 3 11? Explain logically, like
I don't need to explain anything about God. I don't. I don't need to explain none of that. All I know is through divine revelation. Just like remember how you were like, oh, this is not important, who's loving, and this is not. Yeah, you don't want to explain anything about yours. So it is what it is, man. Go figure out who Allah was loving. And what you'll find is that your God is created. He's more than likely a demon or Satan. And that my God created him. And he actually rebelled against God and decided to create this false religion because polytheism just wasn't working anymore because Christianity was running rampant. So instead of working through these false idols and polytheism, he changed the strategy to say, I'm going to make a false counterfeit monotheism religion and convince everybody that convince a bunch of people in the East, particularly Arabia, that this is the one true religion and the one true God. And they're going to bow down and worship me 5 times a day. And I'm going to fool them into thinking that so that I can be worshipped again. And then on the day of judgment, when Jesus returns, your God, the one that you've been bowing down to, is actually going to be facing judgment and fall into the lake of fire. And that'll be a crazy, crazy day. So thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Hello, sister.
Good morning. Wow, Bear, that's exactly how the devil convinces over 1.2 billion Muslims to deny the divinity of Christ every single day. You couldn't have said it any more beautiful than how you just said it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's...
Oh, my God.
That's exactly what happened. Polytheism was the majority of humanity. Polytheism was the means of worship. You know, the Jews were the minority. But when Christ came, all of a sudden monotheism became worldwide. It started spreading like crazy, and people were leaving polytheism for this monotheistic religion of a bunch of people who were willing to die for their beliefs. And then it started to spread. And then think about it, 7th century, it spreads a little bit in the east, but not as prevalent in the west, more in the western side. And then you have these demons that used to be worshipped. Now they're being threatened. So what are we going to do? Change strategies, make a counterfeit monotheistic religion so you can be worshipped again.
They're going to do Tawheed, unification of all the pagan deities into one.
Yep. And then we can question their scriptures because there's going to be questions there. They have all the information to put doubt in people's brains in order for them to be convinced of this one religion.
Exactly. And I wanted to tell you something because like I still go back and read the Quran because like now I'm reading it from like a different perspective. And I think there's something really crazy here. So in the Quran, you know, when they're blowing Isa into Maryam, right? I think it's chapter 66, verse 12, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing is, Jesus was there. So when you go to the classical scholars and you study their tafsir, like Qurtubi and Ibn Kathir and them, they say that that spirit that was there that day was Jesus, which means that Jesus existed before he got blown into the womb, right?
That's crazy.
But they say that at the timing of blowing is when Jesus was created, but nowhere in the Quran says that.
Right.
They just say it. So even when you look at just the Quran and it's like words, Jesus existed before being in Mary's womb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
that's what the devil does. He comes with half truths.
Yeah, he perverts them, and like there's some hadiths that I'm convinced that he's just trolling them too. Like it's just like I forgot who it was yesterday. I think it was Life. On Word and Eyes Live, they started reading the hadith of what happens on Resurrection Day, on where the ejaculation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, he had like this is like in my mind. I'm like, this is definitely Satan trolling them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like it's crazy, you know. And then changing Isa's name and like, man, it's just I'm changing Jesus' name to Isa. I mean, you know, it's just like it's just crazy, man.
It is. In like you just said, there had to have been something else to come other than polytheism to keep people away from Christ, because it was spreading like wildfire throughout the world, and it wasn't spreading with the sword. It was spreading through the apostles and the disciples, and you know, just by spreading the word by mouth and by action. It wasn't by sword, and it was coming to the Middle East, right? There were Gentile pagan Arabs that converted to Christianity, and obviously the devil is going to see this as a threat.
Absolutely. And the other thing is this, like, you know, if our, and obviously guys, we're going off of our theories through our worldview, right? We don't expect Muslims to adopt this theory or anything like that. It's not something we can prove is what I'm saying. But if we're going to adopt our worldview as true, this is logically follows. Like, we have heresies that exist from the beginning. One of the very first heresies, or at least one of the big ones, was Arianism, right? And Arianism is this idea of, you know, yeah, Jesus is God, but a lesser God, you know, like the whole Libyano argument. That's Arianism, right? But he's not the Almighty God, the Most High, you know, so on and so forth. And then that heresy develops into other things, right? But that heresy came back up again later, centuries later. And according to St. John of Damascus, Waraka was a Arian monk. And so this Unitarian idea of God being one that comes from Arianism, it's interesting that Waraka is the one that early on has influence on Prophet Muhammad. And then therefore Muhammad has this idea of, you know, a one strict monotheistic God, you know. It just develops. It starts to develop even more. And, you know, just like any other creature that is trying to succeed in something, right? You try things, it doesn't work. You adjust and you try it again. It doesn't work. You adjust and try it again. 7 centuries is enough time for Satan or a demon to try different things and then finally hit something that works, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's why, like, throughout like the times when I'm talking with Muslims, I always remind myself to like calm down, like relax, because like they're just being fooled, and I love them, and I want them to come home. I want them to know Christ. I want them to know this love and this peace. But it is sometimes hard, like that. This one kid right now, which I totally think you should clip that conversation, because just the way he was laughing, it's so obvious that. Unfortunately, you know, when we're talking about religion and theology and stuff, we are not, you know, going against the actual people. It's like, you know, it's the devil. It's evil. You know, that we're going up against, and
Yeah, it's not flesh and blood. It's the powers and the principalities. Yeah.
Yes, you could see that there's something over them. Unfortunately, something evil, because they all manifest the same way. You know, they ask the same questions, they act the same way.
It's
Doesn't
weird,
matter what
isn't it?
country they're from.
It's so weird. It's like they're robots. They literally say all the same stuff, and it's like, and even they may not have the same accent, the same tone of voice or anything, but there's something about it that they all sound the same.
It's that same demon, honestly, respectfully.
Yeah, it's a spiritual thing for sure.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual thing for sure.
Yes. I'm really proud of you, Bear. I subscribe to his Patreon, guys. If you're really wanting to learn and you know, learn how to debate and learn how to dismantle these talking points that they try to use against us and everything, I recommend you follow his YouTube. You join his Patreon. He also has Bible study on Monday evenings, which is really good. We take a deep dive. Right now, we're doing Matthew. This would be my third Bible study I'm taking with Bear. It's the best thing you can do for yourselves, because it really does take a deep dive in the Bible, you know, with the Quran and with how they even look at Allah and everything. He said you should accept Allah because he's simple. These people are simple-minded. The Bible is not a simple book. It is so deep, and that's why taking deep dives into every chapter is so important, so that you could understand the context of the history, what they're really saying, you know, all of this, what they meant by the poetry, all of it. And Bear does an excellent job by doing that.
Thank you so much.
And
I
Peace is
appreciate it.
awesome too, guys.
Yes.
You should follow her as well.
Thank
bless you.
Thank you so much, Sajida. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, Sajida, one of my sisters. If you guys don't know her story, she's ex-Muslim, and you guys probably seen her around a lot, debating and everything like that. But what an amazing story! Like, I mean, people should know more of your story, Sajida. By the way,
I'm writing a book.
you should.
I am. I'm working on it right now.
That's amazing.
So we'll see what happens. God bless you guys.
All right, God bless.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
All right, bye.
Yeah. No, I mean, man, it's an amazing story. Yeah, Sajida is definitely famous on TikTok for sure. For sure. And if she writes a book about what she went through, it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. For sure. Well, guys, let me see what this guy wants. And then I might wrap it up for the day. What's up?
Yo, what's up, bro?
What's going on?
No, I'm good, bro. Just keeping the work up. That's why I came up.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
You have a good day, bro.
Oh, man. Take it easy. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for all of your support. YouTube, thank you guys. The views are going up on YouTube every stream, so thank you guys. I'm gonna see if I have time today. I think there's a video I do want to drop from one of my lives earlier this week. I do want to drop the video next week of what just happened with that little Filipino kid or whatever he was. But yeah, be on the lookout on YouTube. Turn on your notifications on YouTube. All right. So whenever the videos come out, you guys can comment, like it, you know, all that stuff. All those things help with the algorithm. Make sure, guys, if you guys are supporting the YouTube, make sure that you guys are watching the video all the way through. Watch time matters. We gave you the YouTube title, Bear. What was the title? I didn't see it. Dang, I missed it. Rewrite the title. Also, guys, on YouTube, if you guys are here for my streams most of the time, and you know I stream in the morning, typically like 8 a.m. He wasn't laughing at the end. Yeah, we definitely got to put that on there. But if you guys are on my YouTube normally, I do need some mods in here. Now, I know Tori's a mod, but she goes back and forth from YouTube and TikTok. So if there's somebody that's solely on TikTok that's around all the time, like, I don't know, find me on Discord, message me. I don't know how you can message me on YouTube or whatever, or comment or something. I'll look at the comments after the stream is done, but somehow get in the okay, Sajida. Yeah, I'll mod you, Sajida. But somebody that could be here, and I'm not saying you can't, Sajida. So you got it. It's already given. But I need more. I need people that are going to be here in the mornings, especially Monday through Friday, because I definitely need some mods in here to help out, because there's people going crazy in the comments on YouTube, and I just don't have time to go and do my thing or whatever. But anyways, just let me know if you guys want to be a mod on YouTube. If you guys are here all the time and I know you'll get it. Okay. So just let me know. Do me a favor, hit peace or follow. Don't forget that. Before I end this, hit her a follow. She's gonna have the ladies' night tonight. So the ladies' nights are always fun. But don't overcommit, guys. If you guys are already a mod on TikTok and you can't do both, don't worry about it. I got plenty of viewers on YouTube that are only on YouTube, and if they want to help mod, they can. All right. But anyways, love you guys. God bless. I'm definitely gonna ladies' night tonight. Yeah, Abby should be there. She was there last night, but ladies' night was like a super late one last night. But yeah, guys, appreciate you. God bless. I should have my new mic should be coming in today. They pump faked me. They told me it was going to be here yesterday, and they didn't do it. Kind of made me mad because I wanted to work on it last night, get it set up for today, and they definitely fumbled it. You know what I'm saying? So I should get the new mic today. I'll be able to work on it today, tomorrow. I'll have it ready for Monday, inshallah. But all right, guys. Well, love you guys. God bless. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You already know, Best Morning Live on TikTok. Back at it Monday. I don't really do anything on Sundays, but I may be dropping a video today or tomorrow. Okay. All right, guys. God bless. Love you guys. Appreciate you. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, now and forever. To the ages of ages. Amen.